Water. We can't live without it. But in the world today, a lot of people can barely live with it. It's estimated that 1.8 billion people cook with, wash with, and drink contaminated water. 2.5 billion lack access to sanitation. In developing countries, people suffering from diseases caused by bad water, inadequate sanitation, and poor hygiene occupy half the hospital beds. Universal access to sanitation and clean water would save 2.5 million lives per year. Sounds expensive, right? But every dollar invested in water and sanitation returns on average more than $4 in increased productivity. Bottom line, we can't afford not to safeguard the world's water supply.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Tulsa, a place where a bunch of good people come together and do a lot of great things around the community and in the world. Tom, thank you very much for the music today. Appreciate it. So let's turn and say hi to somebody you haven't greeted yet, and Don, if he'll make his way up front. All right. I haven't earned or learned how to get the crowd back under control, but it sure is fun greeting each other, and I think for most of us that's why we're here. So I appreciate your smiles and loud voices and firm handshakes. And is Jan here? She probably traveled 5 tables again, so I appreciate that. So let's get started. For our invocation today, we have past President Matt Davis. Song and pledge is Andy Avila. And visitor introductions is Tony Oliva. Matt?
You bow with me, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this absolutely gorgeous day that is so full of opportunities. We know how blessed we are, and we know how many in this world are not as blessed as we are. Bless this food and those who prepared it and served it to us today. Bless it to our nourishment. Let us be instruments of thy will in making a difference in the lives of those less fortunate. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Thanks for coming today, and it is my pleasure to introduce our song for this meeting. Written by Samuel Francis Smith, it's a beautiful song called My Country, 'Tis of Thee. And now, please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Tulsa, it's my privilege to introduce all our guests and visiting Rotarians. You are attending club number 2500 in District 6110. At this time, I'd like to introduce our visitors. When I call your name and the name of your host Rotarian, please stand for a moment and we'll hold our applause until the end. We have Elizabeth King with Brad Anthony-Matham, Courtney Neal with Becky Fields, Luke Tomasino with Chuck Wilson, Princess Brown and Nicole Bastian Trantham are with Catherine DeCamp. Please help me join them. Welcome them. Our only visiting Rotarians today are apparently our District Governor, Don Dendas, and Assistant Larry Long. Hi, Larry. Thank you. Come visit us again.
Kind of unique to have a visiting Rotarian as a speaker. So let's take a look now at our upcoming programs and take a peek at what's going on. On October the 12th, we have Business Visitation Day. That's an off-site meeting, as you know, because you've registered. Next week is off-site at the Air National Guard. October the 19th, we have Fred Davis, political advertising. His caption for his speech was, "Carnival Barker or Crook, what to do in America." So we should have a very fair and balanced discussion there. October the 26th, we have Scott Stullen, who is the new director at Philbrook. And on November the 2nd, Marnie Taylor. So we look forward to those upcoming programs, and please make your reservations and get your guests here. We have one corporate sponsor today. Carl Vincent with Corporate Realty Advisors is our sponsor today. Let's give him a big round of applause and his company. And now it's time for Catherine. Back home, I've seen my wife, so you're back to Catherine. She's our Sergeant of Arms. She's going to lead us through this.
So first of all, I'd like to remind everybody, please say hello to our guests. We're so happy when we have guests in the house, so please, extend that handshake and welcome everyone. I want to just really quickly say for our guests what we do, what a Sarge Fine is. So a Sarge Fine is a donation to our foundation, and with the money that we get in the foundation, we do amazing things locally for Tulsa, the Tulsa area. So every time you give money, that's where it goes. Now, how much should a fine be? A fine should be a generous fine. If a generous fine is $1, that's a generous fine for you. It just depends on whatever you'd like to give. We don't have a minimum, so please be sure you do that.
Now, Kathy, this is the 100 for 100 year, right?
It is, and we're going to have lots of people who are going to help us with that.
Yeah.
But then we're going to have other people that are going to give us another
200,
number. And
yeah.
You know what? We don't turn any money away, okay? We never turn money away. So speaking of which, we have the slides all set up. But when I walked in, there was an envelope at my table, okay? And then I opened it, and there was a note. So I'd like to read the note. So the note says, "Please accept this generous donation from my Rotary Fine. This is a tribute to our Wonder Boy." So it's a $5 donation. but then it had a thumb drive. And so I didn't have time to talk to you, so I had the tech team queue it up. So if we don't
There's a tennis ball in here somewhere.
we just couldn't wait. We just couldn't wait 2 weeks to show them what we're doing in the office. So if you don't get it, let's see what this donation is about.
Life is only what you wonder. Day is as light as your brightest dream. Night is as dark as you feel it ought to be. Time is as fast as the slowest thing. Life is lonely.
I was styling. My future wife was there.
People strain their eyes to see that I see you and you see me. And ain't that wonder?
Look how young we look.
Wonder boy, some mother's son. Life is full of work and blunder. Easy go, life is not real. Life is only what you conjure. Wonder boy. And the world is joy. And we see
What's Hillary going to look like?
it's a real joy. Wonder boy.
generous for that generous donation. Okay, so in here we have some Sarge slides coming up. First, Tom Campbell. Where's our friend Tom? There he is. Okay, Tom has a very generous donation. He had his birthday on July 16th, and his Rotary anniversary is August 11th, so this is a combination of those two, and thank you so much, and happy belated birthday. Next, we have the other Tim Caldwell. Where are you? Oh, look, they're like sitting together, so this wasn't even planned. $200 for his birthday on September 5th. Happy belated birthday to you, and thank you for your generous donation. This is a Sarge salute to Forrest. I mean, we get the best press from Forrest Cameron. Forrest, are you here today? Well, maybe not. Okay, he can watch the video. So, but we really do appreciate all of the free advertising that we get. And then Duff Weddle. Where is Duff? There he is. Mr. Weddle had a hole-in-one on number 8 at Southern Hills, 208 yards. And a very generous donation. I'm glad he didn't just like give us $8 or, you know, that. But maybe next time he'll give us the 208. You know, that would be good. So, but thank you so much for your generous donation. And is Mr. Ed here today? Man, I'm just like, I'm gonna have to hunt him down. Okay, well, he's not here, but this is what we have today. We have tickets, OSU tickets, 50-yard line tickets, October 8th, Iowa.
Iowa State.
Iowa State, thank you. Might be an OSU fan in the house. And breakfast or lunch with the Knolls. And so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna auction this, and we're also going to be auctioning OU OSU tickets for October 15th to Kansas.
Okay, let's start with OSU. So I've got OSU tickets on October the 8th, Iowa State, home game, 50-yard. I have $100. Do I have 120? I got 100, 120. Anybody got 120? I got $100. Anybody for 120 on Iowa State? 50-yard line, lunch included. Lunch is $50. I got 100.
Got one out there?
I got 120. Actually, I meant to say 125. So I got 125. 125, do I hear 150? 125, do I hear 150? 125, do I hear 150? Do I hear 150?
Where's Jan?
I got 150. I got 150, 150, 175, 175, 175. Got 175, do I hear 2? 175, do I hear 2? This is 2 tickets. Face value is 100 apiece.
And lunch or breakfast.
I've got $200 somewhere. Do I hear 2 1/4? There's 200. Do I hear 2 1/4? 2 1/4. Do I hear 2 1/4? I got 200 back here. 2 1/4. 2 1/4. 2 1/4. You in out, in out, in out. 2 1/4. I got sold for $200 back there. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay. See Tommy Lynn. Okay.
Okay, OU and Kansas State. I will be at that game. So a bonus at that game is I will not buy you lunch. But I would share a campus corner with you. October the 15th, Kansas State, OU. This will be a good game. I have $100 for that. Do I hear 100 1/4? I've got 100, 100 1/4, 100 up high. I can't see your hands. 100 1/4. Got 100. Do I hear 100 1/4, 100 1/4, 100 1/4? There's 100 1/4. Do I hear 150, 150, 150? Got 125. Do I hear 150? 125. Do I hear 150? Anywhere 150, 150, 150. Sold for 125.
Woo-hoo.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, now before we end, we have a last-minute ticket donation. This is 6 tickets for tonight's showing of Once. That's ONCE. They are row F, seats 14 through 19 in the orchestra section. These are amazing seats. So, so think about it. If you know you can go, or you have somebody who would love to go, these tickets, I'm sure they're like probably sold out. Take it away.
This is a love story. So this is a date night for you gentlemen that are in trouble, and for you women.
With 5 women, a date night with 5 women.
And for you ladies, this is a great way to get your significant other to a very special showing. It's a man and a guitar, and they court in a cafe over a week, and it's a great story. And they're calling this the Renaissance of the Musical, so it's a really special event. It's at PAC tonight at
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So I don't have an opening bid. Do I hear an opening bid of 50? How about that? $50. This is 6 tickets, by the way. So I have 50. Do I hear 75? Got 50. Do I hear 75? 50, 75. That's tonight. I know some of you are in trouble. I got 50. Do I hear 75? Do I hear 75? I've got 50, 75, 75. Oh, come on. Ladies, this is a unique opportunity.
Ladies,
75 to
get
75?
5 friends together.
I've got 50. Do I hear 75, 75, 75? I don't hear 75, so I've got $50. Thank you, Matt Davis. Here you go, Matt.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Matt.
everybody.
Okay, we have so Matt, I got to see you. I'm going to get to see you on Facebook with your lovely bride one more time, glowing in just having seen once and ruining it for everybody here. Thank you in advance. We have 3 committee meetings today. Business Visitation Day, host packet pickup. So if you're a business visitation sponsor or host, pick up your packet in room 232 right after the meeting. Membership Recruiting Committee is in room 233. And Women's Special Event is in 234. That's the one I'm going to. So if I could have Lindsay and crew help me up, we're going to do our Paul Harris Fellow recognition at this point in time. Come on forward.
Thank you, President John. The Rotary Foundation is one of the largest and most important programs of Rotary. Without the foundation, Rotary could not continue its many humanitarian programs and its efforts to promote world understanding, goodwill, and peace. The foundation is a nonprofit corporation supported solely by the contributions from Rotarians and friends of the foundation who share its vision for a better world. Today, we recognize our fellow Rotarians who are becoming Paul Harris Fellows. These recipients have either contributed $1,000 gifts directly to the foundation or participated in our recent Recognition Points Matching Challenge campaign. I want to take a moment to thank members who, choosing to remain anonymous, shared recognition points. This recognition is Rotary's way of expressing its appreciation for our contribution to the foundation goals. It gives me great pleasure to present the following Rotarians on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Rotary Foundation a lapel pin and certificate as they become a Paul Harris Fellow. And if you are coming on stage, if you'll please come up to the right. First, we have Bill Reichert. And is John Marad with us today? I don't believe so. Tom Perrault, also not here today. George Shahidi. Oh, I think are we going out of order? As Rotarians donate beyond the initial $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation, recognition points are generated in their name and can be donated to others. A few of our fellow Rotarians have graciously donated their recognition points to honor the following. Tom Barrientos, Paul Harris Fellow. In addition, we recognize our fellow Rotarians who are multiple Paul Harris Fellows. Multiple Paul Harris Fellows have contributed an additional $1,000 in gifts above their initial contribution to the foundation. This recognition is Rotary's way of expressing its appreciation for a substantial contribution to the foundation goals. At this time, I would like to recognize the following Rotarians on behalf of the trustees of the Rotary Foundation who have made it to the next level of multiple Paul Harris Fellows. John Raines. Next, we have Bill Ray. It's in the front here. We're gonna, sorry. Yeah. Oh, yes, absolutely. These are the plus ones. Next, we have Linda Wilson. Next, we have the Paul Harris Fellows at the +2 level, Mr. Matt Davis. At level 3, we have Rhonda Renz. Miss Jerry Emmons? Okay. Jerry Emmons. Now we'll honor those with a +4. Corey Nickerson. Mr. George Hamilton. +4. Now on level 5, Jarl Johnson. Please join me in congratulating and recognizing our multiple Paul Harris Fellows. The Permanent Fund builds long-term stability for the future of Rotary Foundation of Rotary International by providing an extra stream of income to meet an increasing demand for the Foundation's educational, humanitarian, and cultural programs. A benefactor of the Rotary Foundation is anyone who informs the Foundation in writing that he or she has made a provision in his or her will or other estate plan, naming the Foundation's permanent fund as the beneficiary, or anyone who makes an outright gift of $1,000 or more to the Rotary Foundation Permanent Fund. Today, it is our special privilege to recognize John and Kathy Raines as our newest benefactors. Lots of hugs for them today, huh? As we present our last recognition item, the trustees of the Rotary Foundation and I have the honor to express appreciation to an individual who has made a substantial contribution towards the goal of international understanding and peace. In doing so, they support and honor the humanitarian and educational programs of the Rotary Foundation that make a difference in the lives of others. It gives me great pleasure to announce that Greg Keck has made contributions to the programs of the Rotary Foundation that qualify him as a major donor at level 1. Greg, as a major donor, you are among a dedicated group of humanitarians who have committed themselves to helping others who are less fortunate. This special group of persons who are changing the lives of children, young people, and adults through a legacy of hope. In appreciation for this investment in a future of humanity, the Rotary Foundation trustees wish to express their gratitude by presenting this crystal in diamond pins. The crystal is engraved with your name and depicts doves bearing olive branches, universal symbols of peace. Contributions like yours enable the Rotary to carry out an array of programs through Rotarians and Rotary clubs around the globe that support Rotary's 6 areas of focus: promoting peace, fighting war, providing clean water, saving mothers and children, supporting education, and growing local economies. Thank you again, Greg, for your generous support. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking this major donor of the Rotary Foundation. At this time, I'd like to ask that all Paul Harris Fellows please stand and be recognized, and join me in congratulating and recognize all of our Paul Harris Fellows. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay and Amber. It's always exciting to recognize people that contribute to this club financially or through service, and what a great day to do that in front and with the participation of the governor. So again, thank you very much for your contributions, and they're very much appreciated, and as we heard, they're put to great works. I hope you can connect the dots with those contributions if you have not been to a international conference, and go to Atlanta this coming summer, and you're going to see how far that money goes and the powerful works that are done. If I could now have Judy, is she going to pass a jar, or is she already done her? Okay. Why don't you come to the side mic and tell us what you're up to?
Boy, what a journey this has been. We've had a blast. When Dawn trains for district governor, I have to train as the first lady. So I picked a spouse project this year, and it is polio eradication, because our international president, John Germ, is still hoping to eradicate polio during his term. I normally pass this iron lung bank around, but there are too many of you, because I know it's going to get stuffed. So on your table, you will find a white envelope. Please put what you can, what you would like to donate. Rotarians that we have met so far have been so generous. We're over $18,000, so congratulate yourself for that. If you want to write a check or put a business card in with the amount that you wish to donate, it will not only go towards your club giving, but also towards your next Paul Harris level, whatever that might be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judy. Hey, Judy, can I give this to you? I'm afraid to give it to Don.
Smart man. Thank you. Thank you, John.
Now, Chuck is making his way up, and again, this is my favorite time in Rotary, and that's when we get to meet new Rotarians and greet them, and we're so excited for them as they come in. So now, Chuck.
Thank you. This is a great privilege today. First of all, to welcome an outstanding corporate member, St. John's Health System, to our club, but also to welcome Lucky Lammons back, and then also a member of my family. Jeff Nallen is the cousin of our daughter-in-law, so it's very special to be able to do this today. I direct your attention to the screens. Tell you just a little bit about St. John's. In 1917, the Sisters of the Sorrowful Mother purchased 8 3/4 acres of farmland at 21st and Utica for $16,000. In 1920, there was a groundbreaking ceremony, and it was headlined by none other than General John J. Pershing. In 1926, on February 22nd, the 50-bed hospital opens, but the first baby was born on Valentine's Day, just a few days before the actual opening of the hospital. Today, there are 547 beds at the Utica facility. Is that referred to as Big John? Big John, called Big John, because they also have hospitals in Broken Arrow, Owasso, Sapulpa, and Bartlesville. And now they're a part of the MD Anderson Cancer Network. So we are so pleased to have St. John as a part of Rotary. Lucky Lemons is the president of the St. John Health System Foundation and vice president of governmental affairs for the St. John Health System. He's a police officer here in Tulsa for 22 years, a member of the Oklahoma House of Representatives for 8 years, and president of the Foundation for Tulsa Schools for 6 years. He holds numerous degrees, including a Master of Human Relations from the University of Oklahoma. He and his wife of 9 years, Shanna, live in Sand Springs. Lucky was a member of the Sand Springs Rotary Club from 2001 to 2010, and a member of our club from 2010 until earlier this year. Little known fact about Lucky, he was not born in Pueblo, Colorado. How's it guess? He was born in Fairbanks, Alaska.
That was my next guess.
Jeff?
My family is from Pueblo.
See? Close. Jeff Nallen is currently the president and chief operating officer of St. John Medical Center. Jeff has spent 22 years in the industry serving in Tulsa, Houston, and Atlanta. He currently serves and/or has served on various local boards and civic committees, including the United Way, the American College of Healthcare Executives, the West Houston Chamber of Commerce, the Alumni Board of Washington University Healthcare Administration Program, and the Oklahoma Hospital Association Board of Directors. Jeff and Mindy, his lovely wife, have been married for 22 years, and they have 2 high school children. In their spare time, you will find Jeff and Mindy on the sidelines of one of their sporting events or rooting for the Baylor Bears. But I did a little background work. Is he sweating yet? I've done a little background work. So let me tell you a couple of things that he has no idea I'm going to tell you about. At 10 or 11 years of age, Jeff was a recording artist with a band called Super Gang. Right?
Well,
But listen to this. Jeff and his fraternity brothers at Baylor raised a pig. Then they had a luau. Guess what? They ate the pig. Help me welcome Jeff and Lucky to the Rotary Club of Tulsa.
Well, welcome back, Lucky, and welcome, Jeff. And we had somebody eat a guinea pig in a foreign country, so we feel like you're right at home. Thank you to John DeBar for doing the orientation this morning. We always appreciate it. You do a fantastic job. I have a few announcements real quick for Business Visitation Day. Again, don't forget to pick up your packet. Next Wednesday, don't come here. Go to the Oklahoma Air National Guard facility. Take your driver's license. That's why they needed the number, so they can match it up. So be sure and do that. As you walk out today, you have a last chance to get to get a flu shot. Terry Heritage and her crew will be out for a little while, so take that opportunity to get that done. Terry, thank you and your nurses for their service. Alicia Herrera says there's still a few tickets available for our next social event, which is Thursday, October the 13th, the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Somebody Grizzlies, and they're pretty good, though. See Alicia or Rochelle to buy tickets, or more conveniently, go on DACDB and purchase them, because you can select your tickets and the number that you want and pay online. Also, while you're on DACDB, you can sign up for Oktoberfest Corporate Night, which is October the 19th, which is a Wednesday night. And there are plenty of seats available at this time, but that'll be a big, fun event for all of us to go and socialize and support Oktoberfest in the city of Tulsa. I want to thank everyone who participated in last night's club assembly. I've had both these gentlemen already tell me it was a wonderful event, very informative and well run, and that's high praise coming from them. So I do appreciate everybody that took time to make that happen, the office staff and all the people that were there. So thank you very much. At this time, I'd like to present or introduce our Rotarian of the Day, Larry Boyer. He's our current Assistant District Governor, along with 3 other clubs. We welcome Larry as a member of the Tulsa Southside Rotary Club. He's been there since 1992 and served as their president in 06-07. He's a Paul Harris Fellow and a Rotary Foundation sustaining member. A little fun fact about Larry is he couldn't think of one. But he did correct me a couple of weeks ago. He sat in on one of our meetings, and I claimed he was a spy for Don Daas, and he caught me in the hall, and he said, "You don't know how close you were to right." I got a call from John Germ telling me to keep an eye on Don Daas. So he is actually a spy for our Rotary International president. So help me welcome our Rotarian of the Day, Larry Boyer.
Yeah, I'd like to reiterate again last night, the way you guys do your club assembly is just amazing to me. All 46 reports done in less than an hour. That's amazing and very informative. It's my honor and privilege to introduce our district governor, Don Daas. Don was born in Amsterdam, Netherlands, and he and his family moved to the United States in 1956 and became citizens in 1963. Since becoming a member of Southside Tulsa Rotary Club in 1986, Don served his club in a variety of capacities, including president, as well as president of the Southside Rotary Foundation. Don has served District 6110 as an assistant governor, as well as several other positions, and as a graduate of the District 6110 Leadership Academy. Don and his wife Judy are major donors, as well as members of the Bequest Society. Additionally, Don is a Paul Harris Society member and a Rotary benefactor. Don is a veteran and recently retired from a telecommunications business he started in 1985. He graduated from Southern Colorado State College with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Don and his wife Judy have been married for 45 years and have 2 children. David, an architect in Washington, D.C., and Katie, a news producer with ABC in New York. Judy retired after 43 years as a classroom teacher. Judy, David, and Katie are all Paul Harris Fellows. Would you please stand and welcome our district governor from 6110, Don Daas.
Thank you so much. I can't tell you what an honor it is to be here. This has been, I was selected at the end of 2013, and actually in the role of a district governor, we have one more thing to do, which is a district conference and just a few more club visits, and basically my year's over, and we start for the on to the next year. Before I go any further, I want to, on behalf of the district, pass my condolences for your loss of 3 good members, and I understand you had a total of 6, but the 3, Hal Calhoun, Jerry Cornelius, and Ron Butler. I had gotten to know Jerry in the last couple of years, and I really, appreciate him as a person. He and Tim Caldwell were kind enough to give us your 100-year anniversary book, and it's something that's on the coffee table and look at quite frequently. So, again, my loss. These 3, as well as the other 3 members that you guys have lost, will be honored in a memorial service that we do at the district conference. So, again, my condolences. So, we've been to a variety of different places. We visit a lot of clubs. We've had a chance to go overseas. I get to go to 100-year anniversaries where I get to see Muzan speak. And, I've met a lot of Rotary dignitaries. And the more I'm around all these people and the more I go to all these places, the more I realize that where Rotary happens is right here in Tulsa or right in Neosho, Missouri, or wherever our 35,000 clubs are located. If it wasn't for your club and all the others through the world, there wouldn't be a reason to have a district. And here's the way Rotary works. So our district is 6110. We cover a 4-state area. We have 79 clubs. People do not realize what a large district we have. The next level up is the zone, and we're part of Zone 31, and they've actually combined zones just to get some economies. But in our zone, which is made up, I think, of like 13 Rotary clubs, and the 2 zones are 26, we are like 1,000, we're almost twice as large as the next largest club in our district. So we have Rotary clubs, then we have our Rotary district with 79 clubs, and then we have the zone. And that zone covers Ohio, a little bit of Kentucky, Indiana, Illinois, Kansas, obviously Oklahoma, a little bit of Texas, then all of Arkansas, a good part of Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi. So it's really a very large zone. And I think a few years ago we had a zone institute here in Tulsa. And if another one ever comes back to Tulsa, really, go to it. It's really quite interesting. You'd be shocked at how many past district governors there are in the world, and they all want to talk at the same time. So the other thing that I know that there are a lot of people, too many to mention this club, that have contributed to the betterment of the district. But I want to mention 3 people real quickly because they are very active right now. One is Tony Oliva, and he's part of our visioning team. And at his own expense, Tony, and I'm part of that too when I'm not doing this, but we go out and we try to help clubs see what their future looks like and try to help them find a sense of direction. Then the other one is Trish Kirkstra. I've been teaching Trish Dutch, and they're all clean words, I just want you to know. And then also Duff Weddle, because of what they do for the youth and for our exchange. So thank you for everything that you do. So what is the role of the district? Why are we here? We have a couple different functions. One is to support clubs. We do that through our assistant governors, and they're the conduit because, again, because of the size of our district, we have 25 assistant governors, and those governors have their marching orders every month. We wrote a manual for them, and then over and above that, we found that just to kind of help them along and incentivize, give them the incentive to do it, we got a couple lieutenant governors who asked them, have you contacted your clubs? Have you told them what our talking points are? Do they have any needs? Okay, we do, and then every week, we go through and we talk to lieutenant governors and to make sure that we've got an open line of communication. Then as we got to look into committee structure, you get a headache looking at this thing. So we're in the process of cleaning it up. And we actually now have a 3rd lieutenant governor, and his job is just to clean up the committee structure. And then we have people on committees that are dead. We have people that have moved out of the district. So we had a long way to go, and we're making good progress on it. Once we get the structure all cleaned up, and we get the committees up to date, then what we're going to do is talk to those committee people and tell them, make sure that they understand what our goals are as far as membership and whatnot, and then to make sure that they have goals and objectives for their committees, not unlike what your board did with your committees last night. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that to promote the Rotary Foundation. And after the ceremony today, my number's a little off, but I just want to run some numbers by you. You guys have 23 now, 24 major donors, okay? Yeah, 4 Paul Harris Society people. Paul Harris Society are Rotary members who've made a commitment to donate $1,000 a year. You have, prior to today, you had 741 Paul Harris Fellows, obviously few are deceased. Then also, as a result of your generous contribution, the Bequest Society, which starts with a minimum of $10,000 in your will, you have now 7 of those members. By the way, if you have children and you're upset with the fact that they moved to Washington, D.C. and New York, this is a really good way to get even with them, okay? Put it in the will. By the time they figure it out, you'll be dead. So it's a pretty safe deal. But really give that some thought. My kids are going to be so surprised. Actually, our kids. They're both our kids. So anyway, But, and then we also have benefactors, and that's for people who wish to put $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation. I know you have your own foundation, but giving to the two foundations is not mutually exclusive. And, you know, again, thank you, everybody, for the next level, for becoming Paul Harris. Greg, to you, your donations are greatly appreciated. In our district, we've done an incredibly bad job of making something fairly simple really hard. There are three parts to the foundation. There's the annual fund, that money we get back after 3 years. And that's one of the great things about being governor. This year we get back $243,000. And out of that $243,000, we donated $51,000 back to polio. By the way, your club gave right in the neighborhood of $7,700. And it's a shout out to Bob. Sorry for missing you, Bob. But you know, so that 51,000 is Rotary takes that times 1.5, and then Bill and Melinda Gates takes that amount and triples it. So your 51,000 now is going to turn into $225,000. Rotary did itself a real disservice a couple years ago, and that's when we came out with the slogan, "We're this close." I found out, and I was shocked last year, and John Germ, who's our sitting president, has been real active in dealing with the Gates Foundation. But this close, in terms of dollars and cents, is $1.5 billion. So the work that Bob and the other writers do, the money Judy, you know, the clubs have donated to Judy, that money is now going to be tripled also. So the $18,000 she's collected is what, $54,000, and we really need the money. We thought this was going to be the year that polio was gone. Nigeria had 2 years of no polio at all after their, you know, there's like an endemic year where they have, you know, they stopped the polio, and then it's got to be 2 more years before it's polio free. And we actually had a huge setback. We had 2 cases this year, so it's probably going to be a little bit. The other 2 countries are Afghanistan and Pakistan, and they're now actually starting to work together to try to get this done. A couple of years ago on World Polio Day, I was at the mall collecting money, and some guy came along and said, "Forget polio, we ought to just start working on Ebola." Well, what you want to keep in mind is that polio is only 1 plane flight away. So, you know, it's still out there, it's not gone, and it always makes me happy when I hear people don't understand. Judy has that iron lung, they don't really realize what that is. A lot of people don't know what polio is, but it's still out there, and we've got to be aware of it. The other thing that's really great, so we give the $51,000 to the polio. Then we have the remainder of that we split in half. And what we do with that money, half of it goes to global grants. And I hope that as you guys go along and you're looking at your committees, that you guys start looking to get together with other districts, with the overseas folks, and don't use your foundation money for global grants. Use Rotary money for foundation grants. Use your foundation grant money for stuff in the community. Believe me, there's more than enough need here, and that's kind of what we do in our club. So that's what happens. Now, with the global grants, what people don't realize is that when that money goes overseas, somewhere between 96 and 98% of that money goes to its intended cause. If you think about, you know, what good shape would this world be in if the government were that efficient, okay? I mean, really. So we, as a foundation, Rotary did have a 97.1 efficiency rating as far as being well-run, not using too much money for running the organization itself and whatnot. And just recently, we were actually upgraded to 100%. So that's how efficient and that's how well-respected that the foundation is. And that was by Charity Navigator. So that kind of gives you an idea of the role of the district. And I'll watch my time here. I know we're getting close. Let me give you a couple of updates on what we're doing at the district level. First and foremost, the district level is not a secret society, okay? You're welcome to join it, all right? And as you can see from listening to me, they're not that particular, so don't be intimidated, okay? Yeah, Jarl, I really am the district governor. I know you can't believe that. I'll tell you, for years, I was like the worst Rotarian ever. I was late for meetings. Remember they used to have the rule, if you missed 4 meetings in a row? I was always on the edge for that. And then, actually, it was Rod Sands bailed because of business things, and they got Wallace Williams to become district governor. And a few years before, Larry got me active in Rotary. I got on the board, and once I started doing a lot of stuff, Rotary became in every part of my week. And if some of you are thinking about not, well, I know you're dedicated Rotarians because the ones that really know what they're doing are not here. I mean, not anybody comes to listen to the district governor, right? Chuck told me when I started this thing, you know, the district governor's talk is like the worst attended. I said, thank you, Chuck. We're really getting off to a good start here. But anyway, so I got involved as a result. Wallace got me involved in the district. One thing led to another. But I will tell you, it has been too long since the Rotary Club of Tulsa has had a district governor. You know, you guys have too much talent, too many great people. You've got too great a club not to pass that along to the other district. And I really encourage somebody to step up. And it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. So please, some of you past presidents, I've seen you, I know who you are. Think about becoming an assistant governor. Think about going through the District Leadership Academy and make sure, and get involved because we need you. So, a couple things that we're doing differently. We have a 3-year plan based on the visioning that we had. We also have every week, we resurrected the executive committee. And what happened was we had district governors that had really good ideas, but the idea wasn't carried on from one year to the next. And so now we're working that 3-year plan. On a weekly basis, we have conference calls. We discuss what activities are going on in the district. We find out we have a couple of clubs on life support, and so we want to make sure we stay on top of those. We've now got a guy that's become a turnaround expert with some of these clubs to help them. And by the way, you guys are a pretty good-sized club. I know your membership numbers are down, but you've got to keep the eye on the prize. I was really, I spent a couple minutes this morning, reading your strategic plan. You've got to do this every couple of years. That's how you stay current. That's how you stay in touch with people. And let me tell you, and I told your board this last night, I was on a bus going to the Kintex Center. It was about an hour from the hotels to where the actual convention was in Seoul, Korea. I was sitting next to a guy that was in Rotary 1. That's the mothership, right? The original Rotary Club. Their membership is down from 8 to 200 people, 800 to 200. So it can get away from you pretty quickly. And I think your plan, the things you mentioned about membership, I think you guys are really on the right track because it's difficult to keep membership going. The other thing you want to keep in mind is, and I told your club this last night, when I joined Rotary in 1986, we had a lot of people that worked for utilities. We had a lot of corporate members. We had a lot of people whose businesses paid for it, and that's all changed. So in the process of beating ourselves up and saying, what are we doing wrong, let's say, hey, we've had this big paradigm shift, and let's make sure that we that we understand what the shift is and figure out how to get new members, because people want to give. And I always use Typros as an example. The thing with younger people is they want to get in, they want to get out. It's got to be reasonably priced, and you've got to be action-oriented. And I think that with some of the ideas your club is coming up with, I think that you'll be able to meet the needs and grow your club. So a couple other little things that we're doing is we're keeping the dues the same. Rotary dues are going up. If you use the Rotary website, it's very slow. If you think you guys have a bad time with it, sit in a room with a bunch of techie guys from India. I mean, boy, those guys can bitch. The sad part is I've made so many calls to credit card companies, I actually understand them. But anyway, so we're also making a change in the manual procedure. And with the manual procedure, one of the things we're doing is I have inserted a part where when there are district events, in other words, in the district we have an event, that they're not going to be held in casinos. Let me tell you why. In my opinion, casinos ruin lives. Now, if you have the money, you want to go gamble, that's your business. But casinos, there are a lot of bad cats that hang around there out in the parking lots. We can't bring young kids into the casinos because of the law, okay? I'm going to tell you, I didn't think about this for a second. Would you rather spend an hour listening About the Rotary Foundation, would you rather go play with a machine? You know, so it's going to be hard to keep those groups captive. For those who you know that if you've had shows in Las Vegas, you know how hard it is to get people back. So the other thing is, it is absolutely ludicrous for clubs to have backpack programs to feed kids who don't have food. It is absolutely absurd, okay, where clubs have to take foster children and try to match them up with kids in the community, and then we're putting money into the casinos, and you have to ask yourself, how many of these problems were caused by people being in casinos? So again, I'm not against casinos. If your club wants to have an event in a casino, it's your club. We're not the Rotary Police, but that is one thing that John will be voting on. So if you've got some thoughts, just let John know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So those are a couple things. The other thing I want to really encourage you to do is I want to encourage you to come to the International Convention. Can I see a show of hands who's been to an international convention? Okay, pretty good number. If you haven't been, this is a year to go for a couple of reasons. One is it's in Atlanta. Two, it's going to be the 100th anniversary of the Rotary Club, the Rotary Foundation. It's going to be really special. Atlanta is a great venue. You know, the College Football Hall of Fame is there. Braves are going to have a new stadium. But the best thing is, it's a real eye-opener. You get to see exactly how large Rotary is, you know, and how many different religions, how many different colors, shapes, sizes. And if you're into clothing, you ought to see the clothing that some of the people from South America and from Africa wear. I mean, the outfits are just absolutely gorgeous. The one thing we all have in common is we all are working to serve humanity and to make the world a better place. And that's our common goal. And that's one of the things that makes Rotary different. So often people ask me, you know, what is Rotary? And I'm trying to explain it to them. They go, oh, they're like the Elks, or not the Elks, but Kiwanis or the Lions. And I said, we are, but we have such an international scope. And you're going to see this scope when you're at that place. The other thing that we're doing is we're doing our district conference this year in Branson. It's not going to be the regular Rotary programs. We're actually having a program called Strength Finders, which teaches people how to identify their own strengths as well as recognize them in other people. So that should be a little different. We're doing it with District 6080. We have two great speakers. One is David C. Ford, who's written a book on the foundation, and another speaker is Larry Lunsford. Larry's from Kansas City. He's a past director, and he's probably going to end up being a Rotary president in the next few years. So these are just a few things. My time is limited, so I'm going to end with this. Who knows what a Rotary moment is? Can I see a show of hands? Other than you, Judy. Okay, let me explain to you what it is. Have you ever been involved in a Rotary project? Like, for me, it's dictionaries, okay? You give these kids a dictionary, and you see the look in their face. And at that point in time, you feel really good, and it's amazing. You're the one doing the giving, but you get back more than you're giving. It's just absolutely amazing. Well, that's a Rotary moment for me. You've all had them, you just haven't called them that. So here's my Rotary moment. A few years ago, my dad was aging, and he lived in Cocoa Beach, Florida, and he called me and said, you know, I'd love going to Branson. I want to come out and visit you, and when I do, would you take me to Branson? So I said, okay. So when he was about to turn 85, we decided for his 85th birthday, we were going to have him come to Tulsa. I had two siblings on the West Coast and sisters, and a brother on the East Coast. They all came in. We got in the car. Judy went with us. We went to Branson. Our kids were still in college at the time. And so after we got done in Branson, we went to Norman and to see them, put everybody on the plane. The next week, he either had a heart attack and died, or had a heart attack, fell and died. Either way, he was dead within 30 minutes. Well, being the oldest in my family, it's incumbent upon me to make the arrangements. Well, I forgot to read the book about what you do when your parents pass away, so I didn't know what to do. So I called a mortician, or a funeral director in my club, and he was about 75 at the time, and it was Sunday night, and I realized as the phone was going unanswered that he was probably trying to get a date at the Asbury Choir, and I wasn't going to get a hold of him. It's a joke. Get it? 75. Okay, just, you guys still awake? Okay. So then I called another fellow, and he said, funeral director, he said, Don, you've got good judgment. He said, you'll make the right decision. Now, this guy's got a 2-year-old child, so I wonder how good his judgment was telling me that. But anyway, so I ended up going down to Florida, and we went to the funeral parlor. We walked in, and we stepped in the guy's office. His name was Ollie. He had about a 10 by 10 office, no windows. Every single square inch of the walls was filled with Rotary mementos, okay? Plaques, banners, you name it. I knew at that point in time that I was in good hands because I was dealing with an ethical, credible person because he was a Rotarian. I cannot tell you the sense of relief that I had at that moment that things were going to work out all right. When I graduated from college, I worked for a Fortune 500 company. And we had a sales manager, and his motto was, "He who dies with the most toys wins." Since becoming a Rotarian, I have learned that he or she who lives by the 4-way test, he or she who puts service above self, are the real winners in this world. And that's what you are as Rotarians, and I am proud to be one of you. Thank you for what you do.
I think we're brothers, Don. I had a pastor one time tell me that sarcasm really was not a spiritual gift. But I'm good at it, so here we are.
I'm actually on my best behavior.
We have a book there that we give in lieu of a speaker's gift. If you could inscribe a message to our young children at Celia Clinton Elementary, we would very much appreciate it. The name of the book is 5,000 Awesome Facts About Don That You Didn't Ever Want to Know. Just ask Judy. So we thank you for your presentation today, and also on our screens we have our volunteers for the program. We could not pull this off without them, so let's give them a big round of applause. Sarge. Again, our upcoming programs: October the 5th, Air National Guard; the 12th is Business Visitation Day; the 19th is Fred Davis to rile us up; and the 26th is Scott Stollen. And we're going to do our drawing. This is a 50-50 drawing. I noticed you two didn't buy tickets. That's too bad. I mean, they're worth a lot of money. But if we draw...
We don't gamble.
Yeah. So you can have Don pull one
I
ticket.
will.
He usually pulls two.
The pot is $1,212. For those of you who don't know how we play, if you win the pot, half of it goes to Rotary International to support the great programs.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Don, I need you to pick the winner.
Now, all these funds, Don, go to Rotary International.
Awesome. You want to read?
All right, I'll try. All right. Everybody have their tickets ready. The number is 248307. 307. Somebody has it. 'Cause I haven't seen everybody-
Oh, we got a winner, Brenda.
We love her. Ooh. I said, we love you. You're going to draw the Joker, and then we're going to give you money. Okay? I'll draw the Joker. Okay. It's kind of, I can't really fluff them out too much, so, but just get one.
Oh.
7 of diamonds. If you had 7 diamonds, though, that would be awesome.
Thank you very much, Catherine, and I encourage you, when you go out today, to tell your friends, neighbors, and loved ones about Rotary and the great things that we do, and let's help make this community a better place to live. We're adjourned.